Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Deal James Neal, episode 18. Today I have a game against the New York Islanders here, and it's another close one against a division rival. So yeah, it was a tight game, nerve-wracking at the end as well, I have to say. Just before I get into what I was going to talk about mainly today, we've seen Ilya Kovalchuk sign with SKA St. Petersburg for, we don't know exactly how much money, but I'm hearing it's for 4 years and at roughly 16 mil a year. So he's foregone that, was it 70 odd million left in his contract, and now he's picking up 16 mil a year for the next 4 years. So yeah, not too bad for him. Uh, but yeah, as I said previously in another video, it's a real pain to see a player of his quality leave the league and head back to the KHL. So the main thing I wanted to talk about today was a matter to do with the team I support, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and just about the salary cap issues we face this season and the possibility of a trade coming at some point before the regular season starts to be able to get properly cap compliant with the correct amount of people signed. Because at the moment we have 12 forwards signed. I believe we've tendered an offer to Dustin Jeffrey, but yeah, only 12 forwards signed. We're gonna want to add another one probably because we've got Bo Bennett on the two-way entry level deal still. I also believe we've tendered a qualifying offer to Robert Bortuzzo, a stay-at-home D-man who played a bit last year for us. He's a big hitter, not a bad player from what I've seen of him. Has potential to turn into a top six guy. But in terms of the lines for next year, I've had a look on the on CapGeek, and just by looking at who we've got under contract already, the lines at the moment would look roughly like this. The top six is going to be pretty set. I can't see that changing too much. There's only one place which is kind of up for grabs. Top line, you would imagine, will be Sid and Dupuis, definitely together. Now, that spot on the other side of Sid could be filled by Bo Bennett. Bo Bennett did play with Malcolm and Neal last season quite a bit and did well there. But I personally, and I think Dan Bilesma, likes Kunitz with Neal and Malkin. He brings a different grindiness to the line. Let's say he's willing to hit. He's willing to get in front of the net, score those real dirty goals. Just score dirty goals in front of the net, which you won't see Malkin do. And Neal's more of a sniper. He'll come in and just let a wrister fly. So basically, in terms of the top six, first line will be Dupuis, Crosby, and let's say Kunitz. And then the second line will be Malkin, Neal, and Bo Bennett. Now, that obviously, as I've said, Kunitz and Bo Bennett may interchange a bit. We may see that in games it switch depending on the situation that we find ourselves in. But I'm pretty sure that top six is pretty set in stone. There's only one thing that may happen, possibly, if Bo Bennett doesn't start off too well. You might see UC Oakland come up to more than likely play with Sid and Dupuis, I would imagine. Jokin centred Kunitz and Dupuis for a little bit last season while Sid was out towards the end of the shortened season, and he went at almost a point per game, I believe. I think he did go at a point per game actually whilst he was playing with the two of them. For me, there's only one real lock on the third line, and that guy's pretty obvious. That's Brandon Sutter, the guy we picked up in the Jordan Staal trade. Perfect third line centre. Anyone in the league would really like to have him there. Great at face-offs. He will get you some points. He's a big game player as well. He does step up when needed. And from what I've seen of the what's it called? Inside the Room, is it called? The Penguins thing on the website? I'm not sure. But he seems like he's a bit of a leader as well. Just a great guy to have around. And he adds size down the middle, which of course every team needs. Now to play with him on the third line, it's not set in stone. I wouldn't think. I would imagine if I said previously about Bo Bennett, Jokinen could replace him in the top six, but he's more likely going to be on that third line with Brandon Sutter. So the other spot there, you would imagine if now that Tyler Kennedy's gone, that Dustin Jeffrey has a decent shot at getting that third line spot now. He isn't like the energy hitter, but he's a very composed player, Dustin Jeffrey. I have liked him for a couple of years now when he's played with the Pens, and he doesn't get as many chances as I think he should really. Dan Bylsma, for some reason, doesn't like him too much. I don't know why. Maybe because he doesn't quite play that hard hitting style as a bottom six forward he should do. The way he plays is more of a top six forward, but without the points, basically. The unrestricted free agent we picked up, Matt D'Agostini, also has a chance of making that third line, I would imagine. He'll get a shot at some point there. Fourth line is pretty much set in stone without any trades happening to any of the forwards. Joe Vitale, Craig Adams and Tanner Glass will, I would imagine, take up fourth line roles again. For us, they're a hard-hitting energy group. I like Joe Vitale a lot. He really works hard all the time. Same with Craig Adams. I'm glad we've got him back. Great penalty killer. None of those guys will put up points, basically. They won't score many goals. They're not going to be like a fourth line which chips in a lot, but they're an energy line. They're gonna hit hard. They're gonna hustle pucks. They're gonna try and get as much time in the offensive zone as possible and just wear down teams, make them ice the puck. So then we can roll out the one of the top two lines afterwards. If we were to trade, say, Tanner Glass, who's got a 1.1 mil cap hit for this year, Harry Zolnichuk could be the one to come up to get a role on that fourth line. He'd probably go into the same kind of role that Aaron Asham had for us a couple of years ago. He'd be the main fighter out of the forward group. And for those games where Dan Bylsma thinks there may be a need for a scrap, I would imagine he will be dressed, just to add a bit of edge. I'm not a big fan of him signing with us after his history. I won't go into that. I'll let you research that for yourself. But, you know, it's up to the organisation if we don't want to have wearing the Penguins shirt, but he wouldn't have been my first choice, put it that way. Now, in terms of D-men, you're looking at the top four being pretty much set in stone. I would imagine Letang will play with Rob Scuderi, and Brooks Orpik again will play with Paul Martin, allowing Paul Martin to have more of an offensive role like he did last season. Very good last season, Paul Martin. Very, very good. Very impressed with the way he's come back from the criticism he got. A £5 million defenseman this year, with salary cap as it is, has to be playing well, and I'm expecting another good year from Paul Martin, really. Now, the one guy who could be traded and has been spoken about in trade rumours is Matt Niskanen. He's earning almost 2.5 mil this year, and that's it. He doesn't have any more years after that on his contract, so it is possible that we trade Matt Niskanen for, say, a forward or some draft picks. Now, I wouldn't mind trading him for some draft picks more than forwards, I would say. Just depending on what team he goes to. You would imagine a team who's looking to add a top four, who has a weak top four and is looking to improve it, may go for someone like Matt Niskanen. So that would mean Simone Dupré would definitely make the roster if Matt Niskanen got traded, and then he would play with either Robert Bortuzzo if he accepts the qualifying offer we've given him, or Derek Englund, who's been a great pen for many years now. The outside chance, I think, is Brian DeMolin, another guy who we picked up in the trade for Jordan Staal. And then, of course, if you're really looking for an outsider, you've got Derek Pouliot, but I would say there's not much point giving him third pairing D time, really. I would imagine eventually we'll be looking to use him like we use Letang. I doubt those two will ever play together unless it's on a power play. They're not offensive defensemen. You'd call them two-way D-men, basically, the pair of them. So, guys, that's gonna about wrap it up for today. I hope you've enjoyed a shootout loss there against the New York Islanders. But next episode, I shall have a game against the Rangers for you, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about yet. I'll have a think about that today and see if anything happens in the world of hockey. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I shall see you in the next video.